In Scotland, we are passionately proud of our culture. It is woven through our everyday life.
MDMA, ecstasy. It's not wildly hallucinogenic, but it's still psychedelic for sure. That's a good drug.
You see, this is the message that the mushrooms gives you. It tells you where you are in your life.
One solution would be to allow everybody to take as many drugs as they want. Everybody to take as many drugs as they want.
I thought I'll go for the heroic dose. So I piled up a heap teaspoon. It's about 5 grams.
Even in the midst of a pandemic, culture is bringing us together.
Jay liked your tweet.
Constitutes 50 decent-sized mushrooms. And I got those down in there.
DMT.
I'm more interested in your idea of mass psychedelicization. That could affect a fundamental change in the way that we interact.
Feel like this, man! I don't f***ing get it!
Absolutely, there's part of the feminine voice. You know, the sense of being awoken was very strong, and undoubtedly sentient, intelligent, yes. I was being talked to in English. I was being talked to in a reassuring way.
But guys, be careful, because, you know, a good friend of mine, he takes 20 medium-sized shrooms and it blows his f***ing mind.
Awesomely complex.
Talking to deceased people.
Do you love me?
He's seen tunnels, he's seen shapes.
The enemy, so
F***ing things are moving, he's turning into a tree.
It's only because I love you that I'm telling you all this.
His hand is all going straight through a tree, it's all going electric blue.
Some people characters, 2CT2.
He gets the full trip, man. For everything he gets.
Ketamine, mescaline.
On 20 shrooms.
Could be others I've got.
The earliest sign of civilization was a healed femur.
What is this exactly? Get all out of it. We'll jank up.
The PSU bookstore sent me here. I'm actually just like getting a bunch of books for class, for my women's studies class. Do you have like a computer system where I can just look it up?
No, we're that computer.
We're the
Okay, different daughters, vaginas and owner's manual.
Hold on, slow down. Different daughters. We carried. If we could order that for you, it'll take a year to get here.
It has to be written. Yeah, and who's your teacher?
Marilyn Kendall.
She's a little odd looking, isn't she?
I guess.
It's almost like they made her eyes weird.
They?
Here. Don't you think?
Like who made her eyes weird?
Goddesses.
What's the name of the first book?
Vaginas and owner's manual.
Hold on a second. Wait. I'm not looking for your book. This is something else. This is employees' rules.
Okay, well
This class you're taking, you don't need it. We have classes here. Abby D's queer question. Why don't you take that?
I have pole dancing class that day.
Excuse me? You have
Pole
what
dancing?
class? Pole dancing?
Exercise.
We're about to freak out right now. We're about 2 seconds away from jumping up on this table and kicking everything in sight, which, by the way, is our own property.
So I guess I'll just go somewhere else.
No.
Let's find these books for you.
I can do it myself.
Oh, we don't want you to do anything by yourself. We'll help you.
Are you in a rush?
Yeah, actually, I kind of have to go. So.
Can I do my impression of you?
Yeah, actually, I've got to go.
Oh, that book's on my list.
Oh, can you put
a different daughter?
Can you put that away, please?
It's over there.
Every time you point, I see a penis.
Oh, I can't reach it. We'll have to get it for you another time.
It's right there.
I can't
Can you just
reach
get it? It's like, honestly, it's right there.
Let me
Put your
show
finger
you.
down,
Let me
please.
show you.
It's right there.
At this time, we cannot get it for you.
You're
I can't
touching
reach
it. Why are you doing
I'm touching it, but that's not enough to pull it. I can rest my hand, but
What's wrong with your hand?
this is my full extension.
Okay, can I get it?
It's not within reach, so we'll move on to.
It's not within reach?
No.
Can't reach it. Nope. Nope. I can't reach
We
it.
can give you this book, we can give you this book, we can give you this
No,
book,
I
we can
see
give
the
you
books
this
that are
book,
on
we
my
can give you
list.
this
Like,
book,
I
we
just
can
need
give you
this
this book. We lost another one.
Are you actually going to... A letter to my son. It feels like only yesterday that we brought you home. So nervous, but so excited for the journey ahead. Today, almost unbelievably, you're already 17. You're taller than I am. And you've grown into a confident, kind, wonderful young man. And I'm so proud of you.
Easy. Wee bit rusty. To be expected, eh? I've not got my phone fixed yet. Sort of got it fixed. Who's in the house? Aye. Good to see you, Gadge. I don't know. I can't know what's going on. Let me know if those tonals are. Well. Cheers, Dave Swift. Before I continue, I'd like to give Sean Wiley, respect to yourself, Sean, a very nice gesture, much appreciated. Morning to you, Rona Whiffen. Look at this, I keep having to touch my fondle tablet, as Max Maxer calls it. Good morning, Catriona. Breaks and beeps. Morning, Xers. Feeling particularly X this morning following the passing of Manny. That was very sad, wasn't it? If you're off a certain age and stage, the roses were part of the fabric, weren't they? You know, a fantastic guy. I met him once, and I spoke to him about Paul Ricci because he was a pal of Paul Ricci's. He was like, yeah. So, God rest their souls. Music is a bit high. Right, well, I'll turn it down then. How's that? Is that more? Wait a minute. I ken what it is. I've got my volumes. Higgledy-piggledy. The lack of fecking awareness from Starmer is impressive. These people are monsters. Absolute monsters. That's what they are. Who's on the old Exathon? What? Oh, I don't know. I need to. Who's on the? Bojaws. And the Beldam. Great to see the Beldam there. Beldam. I meant to say something to Beldam. I get inundated with messages at times. Believe it or not, I'm more popular than some would have you believe. And I don't have Spotify, and I don't use Spotify. So if people send me links to Spotify, I find it difficult to open them. I have to fanny about to open them. So that thing, I'd like to know what it was. I couldn't check it. I was like, what is this? I don't know what it is. Anyway, well, here we all are, gathered again together. We are going to be, I said this last time, we are going to be changing, we're going to be doing an evening show with guests and artists and whatnot, but we're still in the process of just putting that together. So you'll just have to bear with us, eh? Straight in, not going to lie, reminds me of this, Richard Medhurst. This was the guy that said the pager attacks, but it was a bit of a mad thing he said. I take in. What's this? 2002 was weird. Kelly Rowland texted her boyfriend via Microsoft Excel and got mad because he didn't text back. Fair enough. Fair enough. Wait, the amount of times I tell folk I don't use Spotify. Tedious. It wasn't meant anything personal. Aha, here you go. I've been gifted a link. So what is this? Jeremy Roth. This is the nature of what the X, right? So an early morning insight into the chaotic insides of my cranium. This annoys me a bit. I'm going to fix this. I have to get another phone, unfortunately. I think the last time we were on, this phone's knackered. But for the meantime, you are Jeremy Roth Cusho and Greg Macron. Deceptive dialectics, compromat, and the Israeli-Russia relationship. Right, this does sound great. I will try and check this then. Certain people's recommendations I will definitely... Depends who you are, eh? Depends who's recommending. It's like music, innit? If you like somebody and they're like, I'm going to listen to what they tell you to listen. But that was a sad one about Manny. No two ways about it. It's no age. Although I was in the pub last night with my mate and some young guy was there. We were talking about it. And he goes, how old was he? I went, he was 63. And I was like, it's no age, is it? And he looked at me as if I was fucking mental. He might as well have been 100 to that guy. But anyway, rest in peace. What is going on? I obviously I couldn't not. We'll look into this chaotic gentrification war in Leith. Tidal is shit hot apparently. I've never used Tidal. And what is Tidal? Is Tidal like Spotify? Should I know this? Should I already know what that is? I tend to like Bandcamp because that's like where the bands. That's where like folk have their things. You know what I mean? Is that what is Tidal? Is Tidal like Spotify? I've heard of it right enough. I've maybe seen the logo. Right. Dal Riadan 39 followed you. B.A. Divinity, Scottish Rebel, Gale, Celtic, North Stand, is that, which North Stand? Oh, Celtic North Stand, alright, okay, right, fair play. Right. Scotland, Scottish people. Lives with his wife and 2 children there, doesn't he? Ya fucking weirdo bastards. People slag off social media, but it's still got its moments, like, you know. You can still get abused by Rick Shithouse. Anonymous accounts intrigue me. It's the same with the left when it comes to ignoring grooming gangs. Why are all the people? Why are Why is every sort of right-wing-ish reactionary account, why are 99.9% of them anonymous? There's got to be something in that, right? Fuck it. Right, let's have a look at let's start local. Right, Bojaws is on the Tidal Commission list because he says, aye, but a bit more grown-up version than Spotify, presume. Excellent sound, pays artists better, actually learns from you and suggests genuine stuff. Have discovered so much through it. Dropped its price now, used to be twice as much as Spotify. Well, there we go. We will maybe we'll maybe get in on the Tidal vibe then. North Stand was the jungle, right? Okay. So is that the vibe? Is that like again? That's the proper. That's like the East Stand for the heavies. All right. Okay. Let's have. Where was the? Okay, here it is. Here, we run independent bookshop, but Waterstones is moving in next door. It'll ruin us. Now I have to say, a couple of people got a bit annoyed with me for being a bit facetious about this. But I just couldn't get my head around it, you know? Correct me if I'm wrong, right? But Waterstones has been in Leith in Ocean Terminal for a long time. And now Ocean Terminal is getting knocked down. Presumably Waterstones are like, well, we're going to move our shop, right? And they've decided they're going to move it to the Cutgate. And anybody who goes to the Cutgate, which occasionally I'm in the Cutgate, and it's quite an experience. It can be quite an adventure. Going to the Cutgate can be, and I mean, I genuinely, I have a soft spot for the chaos of the Cutgate that's still there. And I think there's definitely a sense that the predatory hands of developers are looking to get their hands on the banana flats and, you know, do a Balfron Tower type thing there. I think that's definitely on the cards. So its days are numbered, I think, in terms of how raj the Cutgate is. But it's still a bit raj, right? But it's also, from what some people say, at times it is too raj. In fact, in the summer I was going down to a friend's house and I went down a couple of times and I walked through, and both times I went down there was like some quite heavyweight altercations going on between heavyweight rajas, and it was pretty horrible. It was like you didn't really want that. It was like proper chaotic, like gangs of rajas arguing over a fucking tenner bag or something. Do you know what I mean? It was fucking Lord of the Flies in the Cutgate. But a Waterstones would maybe be this. You know, what does a Waterstones mean? But a Waterstones is actually all right? I mean, the way that these people seem to be talking is like Waterstones is like some fucking like petrochemical company or something. Do you know what I mean? Like some sort of like capitalist beast. You know, they still sell books, and as far as I'm aware, somebody else messaged me last night and went, I've done like book launches and that at Waterstones, and they've always been brand new with me, really nice, great people. Like, I don't know, I mean, fucking, do you know what I mean? But there's this weird thing where this bookshop that pitched up next to the Central. Anyway, let's see what the Scottish Sun's got to say about it, because they've managed to whip up a phenomenal amount of publicity over the fact that a Waterstones is opening You know, it's like it's still a bit of a, you know, a wee walk across the street and down the road. Books in the cut gate. That'll never catch on. I mean, there's a lot of factors to take into consideration with this drama, you know, and it is a drama. We'll look into it. We'll go onto Instagram and that. We've got plenty of time. What's our viewership like? We've got a reasonable viewership here. If you're a regular viewer, respect yourself. If you're a regular contributor, respect yourself. And if you're a lurker, I put up a couple of links lately, like over the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about this to a few people. I've got a click-through rate, right? A CTR is how many people. If you ever post a link on Twitter, right? The lowest metric will be how many people click the link, right? That's just across the board. Doesn't matter if you've got 100,000 followers, 1 million followers. You'll always have a very small amount of people click links. A really high CTR rate for advertisers or something is about 3%. My average click-through rate is between 15 and 25%, right? See the numbers. I can show you my analytics, maybe I will. But if you're one of those people who just constantly comes to my account to see what I'm saying and see what I'm posting about, maybe you didn't like me, maybe you do, I don't really care. But if you do look and watch What the X, you can click the Ko-fi link and you can give me £5, right? It's not a huge amount of money, is it? I know times are hard, but judging by some of the things that people click on, I'm very suspicious, very curious, shall we say. Morning, Bob, and the chat. No such thing as bad publicity, maybe not. Let's see. Oh, it was over here. Right. I tell you what, right? We're trying to raise money for What the X and Discontent, right? And if we get to 10% of our goal, that's when I'll make an effort to merge the chats, right? Only at that point. I know I've promised it many times in the past. It can be done. Just like, you know, I quite like that I've got these two factions, the X chat and the YouTube chat. John McFadden says, loving the juxtaposition of someone slapping their severed cock onto the counter of that chippy at the bottom of Leith Walk. And now there is a toff wars over an elitist bookshop. It's very true, you know. It's like, why can we not have a blue plaque for the guy that cut his cock off in the chip shop? I think you know, if you want to get proper tourism, that's where I would go for it, like, you know. Argonaut has hired these guys to beef up their disgruntled campaign and run their petition. Pure SEO bedwetting. Who is this? Nuance Collaborative. What's this? Digital strategy. What the fuck is this? A digital strategy. It's not opening. What do you tell me? They've employed a PR company because Waterstones are going to open a store. Is that actually what's happening? You serious? Or is somebody just pulling my leg here? Is there a bit of the old leg pulling occurring? Early morning limb tugging. They should set up some barricades at Junction Street and throw books at each other. So this is all settled. And maybe start like a tradition, like the ball game or something like that. You know what I mean? Where people take their tattered copies of Trainspotting and smack each other over the head with them, like, you know. Yes, they started the petition. Their website isn't opening. They can't be that. Their digital. I tell you what, your digital strategy is fucking shite if your website doesn't even open. Nuance Collaborative. I wouldn't be employing them unless that's not the right link. I know someone who had a crocodile in the bathroom in the high flats in the Cutgate. They need rescued. You heard it here first. Right, let's see what the Scottish Sun is saying about this. I quite like how X is now displaying links. And okay, booked in. We run an independent bookshop, but Waterstones want to move in just next door. It'll ruin us. I know I already said it, but it's funny just saying it again. Right, okay. The boss of an independent Scots bookshop has been left fuming. Who's done the article? Sarah Peddy, online news journalist. The boss of an independent Scots bookshop has been left fuming after finding out Waterstones are moving in next door. Argonaut Books owner Adam Barclay wants the industry giant to reconsider its plans to open a brand new store in Edinburgh. Fuck me. This is pretty fucking brilliant, eh? Argonaut Books was opened 4 years ago, right? It's not even as like, so basically like, where the fuck have you been, right? You pitch up next to the Central. I got a bit, I can't mind if it was themselves. It must have been, right? Because there's that guy, the Minute guy, the Edinburgh Minute guy, right? Who said that I was mentally ill. That's what he said. He said that I'd lost my mind, the cheeky little bastard. Because I slagged him off for being a pedophile or something, like, you know? I don't think I actually called him a pedophile, but I slagged off pedophiles and he got annoyed about it. Anyway, he said that these Neds had gone into that shop, and I was like, that, like, it was just kids from Leith Academy. So he's a snob. Waterstones, which already has 4 branches in the capital, is set to open the new shop in the Foot of the Walk area in Leith. The Herald reports, right? So this is cross news, cross-pollinated news. Is that music still a bit loud? The planned branch, previously occupied by the British Heart Foundation, will put the company in direct. This is total. You're right. This is total PR. This is just a press release. The planned branch, previously occupied by the British Heart Foundation, will put the company in direct competition with Argonaut Books. The unit is part of the new Cutgate shopping centre. Argonaut Books was opened 4 years ago by Adam Bartley. Did it not say that already? Oh, it's up there. And he has hit out at Waterstones, saying the new store would be a pointless addition to the area. Fuck me, man, eh? This is what gentrifiers do, you know? Gentrifiers turn up somewhere, right? And because they don't know, because they've got often they've got very few, like, actual links to an area or something. So they form community groups, and they, like, which is all basically them, all like new people, right? And then they call themselves like something like friends of something or like that. Like it'll be like some fucking like park or something. And they'll say like we're friends of this park or something, but they're basically just friends of each other because they didn't care anyone else. And then that becomes the community, and they're always middle class, so they always know how to get themselves involved in all this sort of like, you know, grants and all that kind of stuff, and very soon they become the spokespeople for a community. And it's quite a subtle and insidious way of kind of erasing what community previously would have been interpreted as. But to say that it's a pointless addition to the area, it's quite an arrogant statement to make. I don't know who this Bartley guy is, but he's obviously very entitled. I mean, like, and do you remember the Central? I don't know if the Central had to stop doing karaoke's, but it definitely was under pressure to stop doing karaoke's for a while. And that was post the sort of gentrification thing. And we've lost all the pubs, all the best pubs, and most of the best pubs. And there's a few stalwarts still hanging on. We've lost so many great pubs in Leith, they've all gone. Beldam says, so many pointless additions to the area, unless it's my one. Yeah, totally. I mean, what is this fundamentally about, right? It's about the profits of a petty bourgeois prick, you know? That's what this is about. And he's managed to get, like I said, you know, this guy's getting more publicity than the fucking genocide. The folk who go to Waterstones and the folk who take their jute tote bags to independent bookshops are two different people. I would think so. I mean, I wouldn't like to say, you know, I wouldn't like to say exactly. But they did say that the kids that were in the shop were Neds. And that's a pretty derogatory term to use for young whippersnappers. Maybe those young folk wanted to go in and get some books about, you know, correct pronouns or something, you know. But how do you know? You chased them out the shop before they had the chance. They have spidered it out to all the press. They've definitely annoyed loads of folk anyway. Folk I've got, the amount of messages I've got about this, it's mental. They had to stop live music due to a twat that's moved in across the road. So is that still the case? Is the Central still not allowed to do any karaoke's anymore? I mean, that was the vibe of the Central. Do you know what I mean? So that's a shame. They added that they did already. Waterstones have since apologised for not contacting the independent bookshop to discuss its plans. That's exactly what you'd expect in the sort of literature world, isn't it? Like, we're very sorry. We're not really sorry, but we have to make out like we're sorry. Hold on, we've got an Argonaut Defender coming into the chat here. Argonaut Defence League enters the chat. Quite impressed. It's John Clifford as well, who have a lot of time for John. So I like this. You know, I have to slip back into devil's advocate here. They added they did not consider the proximity to be a problem, as they believed Argonaut Books was a speciality bookshop. Mr. Barclay told the Herald, "Why does a chain like Waterstones feel like we have any need of them or their services in Leith?" Right, this guy's a prick. Sorry, right? Who the fuck are you? Do you know what I mean? What are you all about? How much time does Mr. Barclay spend in the Kirkgate himself? Why would we let this money leave our local economy? What you mean? Fuck, this is mental. I never actually read. I never read this. I never read anything about this yet. I mean, listen. Feel free to challenge me on this if you feel I'm being unfair. Pete from Leamington Books thought I was. An independent bookshop can and will provide better, more personal. You're not making me want to go to your shop, pal. Like, you know, you're not making me feel like I really into going into your store. To be honest, more personal, more local service than they could ever hope to. Fucking hell! If they understood the first thing about Leith, didn't you just move in there 4 years ago? Ah, the new Leith. Now I get it. They would know that it's the variety and the independence that make our home such a special place in this city, right? Right into the marketing of the old port, like, you know. This guy's enraged. They clearly have not done their market research, or they would have noticed that there is an established and thriving. Well, if you're thriving and you're established, what have you got to worry about? Like, you know what I mean? And you know, independent bookshop within 100 metres of their new location. This is and will always be a bookshop city. And Waterstones will only ever be guests here. We would seriously urge Waterstones to reconsider its baffling business decision to set up next to us and enter into a leasehold partnership with the new owners of the new Kirkgate. One must also consider what these new landlords hope to achieve with such a pointless addition to the area as their first anchor store, and what other businesses in the area they plan to jeopardise next. Commercial property consultancy cited confirmed the opening of the new Waterstone store on social media. The post read, "Exciting news from Leith, Edinburgh. We're delighted to confirm completion of a deal to bring Waterstones to the ground floor of Unit 4C at New Kirkgate, Leith, with British Heart Foundation set to vacate in November 2025. This is a fantastic addition to the scheme, introducing a quality national retailer and a fresh new use for the space. It's great to see continued investment coming into New Kirkgate, strengthening its position as a key retail destination in the north east of the city." A Waterstone spokesman said Waterstone signed a new shop in Leith with the closure of its Leith Ocean Terminal bookshop. I mean, this is the thing as well. It's like they've been in Leith for forever. They've been in Leith for 25 years. We had understood Argonaut Books to be a speciality bookshop focused on horror and gaming, and therefore did not consider the proximity to be a problem. We regret to discover much more of an overlap in what we stock, and have engaged with Argonaut Books to understand this better. Well, Waterstone sold me a mouldy bun and insisted on asking me numerous questions regarding my coffee order. They can fuck off. Well, that's fair play, like, fair enough. here's this guy. Wait, the case becomes murkier still. Interestingly, Adam Barclay used to work for Waterstones. Waterstones will employ more people. Article on the BBC from 2020. Adam Barclay, he's a pro-tram guy. Well, more reasons to dislike the petty bourgeois proprietor. Bookshop wars. Brilliant, eh? Most of the folk around the foot of the walk wouldn't set foot in that seemingly exclusive safe space shop, but they will easily walk into Waterstones for a no-nonsense transaction. Well, I tell you what, this has been fascinating thus far, I have to say. I'm feeling the tinge of a cold coming on, and I know that there's a flu, and I'm hoping that it doesn't start in the old throat and that, because Dalmeny Bar, Volley, Couples, Tam O'Shanter, Brunswick, Bakers at the bottom of the walk, the Awful Butcher, Scoop Shop, umpteen Greasy Spoons, umpteen Asian clothes shops. Leith Walk was full of independent traders, all booted out for people with middle class voices taking their inflated rental spots. Now that's a fact. That's all very true. Dan Mick X. I find this person is the kind of quintessence of smug, arrogant, gentrified country, if I'm honest. But hey, that's just my opinion, eh? That's just my opinion. And who am I anyway, eh? I'm just a guy on the internet, like, you know? Right, I'll be back shortly. Literally, do not go anywhere. I'll be back. In fact, wait a second before I go. I'm not really going. I'm just going away for a minute. Back in a mo.
Right, you've got two options.
Alright, okay.
Either sleep in a bed of nails.
Why the fuck would I sleep in a bed of nails? Like, what's the second option?
Go to the Edinburgh Christmas markets.
So, do I get to bring my own pillow for the bed of nails?
The left Puritanism made it addicted to losing. Following the USSR's dissolution, the left transformed. It devolved into purity tests and identity struggles. Instead of strategies, we embraced liberal thought. After the 1990s, the left retreated into academic circles, abandoning economic struggle. Identity became the focus. We need a left committed to winning. The adversary isn't the worker with the wrong coffee or saying the wrong words. The goal is to seize power from capital.
Cottage cheese is not really a cheese at all. It's just occurred to me.
We're pals already. It's all good.
Yeah, all my guitars, Telecasters. I got blonde Telecaster as well,
Yeah.
custom shot one. Takamine acoustics, you know.
Yeah.
So, but again, it's not.
Hello, I'm Jennifer. My pronouns are she, her. This is my work, dress up. It's a masculine tool, but I was brought up on groundworks. So it's in my family, I suppose. And they're kind of like with groundworks, the shovel is like the artist's pencil. They need a shovel to do majority of their work. Without the shovel, it's like the artist without a pencil. You need it to jot your plans down and stuff like that. So I suppose that's why the shovel made sense to me. My practice is I find day-to-day objects that could be coded masculine or feminine, merging them together, questioning assumptions on gender. It feels fantastic to have the work amongst this exhibition. I find the space incredibly inspiring. I feel that art shouldn't just belong in a gallery, but also in people's homes. You can spread the cost for £60 a month for 10 months with own art. Buy my work.
Right. John McFadden says, caught wanking into 50 Shades of Grey. Where would we be without John McFadden? What did we think of the transgender spade? What kind of annoyed me about that is like, what's he saying, that women have never used a spade? I mean, that is like, what's her name, Charlie Dimnick? She'd have words with him, wouldn't she? Like, what are you talking about, you absolute rag? I mean, that the whole the whole vibe of that, right? That's what I said on Instagram. I was like, is it critic proof, right? If you think that that's absolute nonsense, does that make you a transphobic racist? That's basically the vibe, isn't it? It's like, if you slag this off, where is it? Right.
Pronouns are she, her. This is.
Actually, I need to put my look back on.
I suppose that's why the shovel made sense to me. My practice is I find day-to-day objects that be coded masculine or feminine, merging them together.
I mean, come on, right? I mean, I want it to be satire, but I know that it's not, is it? This is where we've reached. This is what we've reached. This is what happened when you took basically the dole away and folk couldn't go to art college anymore that were working class to like make sure folk like that couldn't just get away with it to that extent. Well, that is properly like out there, I'll have to say. A couple of things, right? I wrote an article. I read an article, and I quite like writing, but it takes a certain type of approach, right? It takes a certain discipline to write, unless you're doing it all the time. And I've got quite a lot on at the minute, and it's quite difficult to find the time to write. I find it quite difficult to find the time to write. And so I wrote that article, and I thought it was pretty decent. I thought I made some pretty important points. And some people shared it, which I would like to say thank you very much, because this is, as I was saying, with the whole, you know, there's a lot of people, many people, voyeuristically look at what I do, and they're always looking, clicking my links, but they don't propagate my work as much as they should, you know, or they could. And that's just the nature of our modern times and the nature of the media and all the rest of it, and we have to accept that. And nobody is obliged to do that. But what I did take a little bit umbrage to was that a few people across different platforms who have never ever shared anything that I've ever done. Because George Galloway reposted my article, they started like more or less, you know, like try to diminish or basically, you know, ridicule the fact that George Galloway had done that. And I find that a bit problematic, because George Galloway is an intriguing individual, there's no two ways about that. And I'm not endorsing everything Galloway does or says to any extent. But on this particular issue of imperialism, settler colonialism, the horrific ongoing genocide of the Palestinians, and obviously what's going on in Sudan as well, is beyond comprehension. Galloway is a populist and loud voice, and very difficult to argue with when it comes to these matters, you know. I don't think he says much when it comes to the questions of Palestinian liberation that I would disagree with. He's also highly intelligent, and he has a massive viewership and platform and all the rest of it. And I was very pleased to see that George responded to the article, clearly impressed with it, and he reposted it. And I thought, fair enough, I'm going to take that, because very few people show me the respect for some of the work that I create at times. I'm not going to whine about it, but I'm certainly not going to be ashamed when somebody like George Galloway publicly supports my work. And especially when it's a piece on that particular issue. Thank you very much for whoever's been donating there. Much appreciated. So if you read the article, I think it's something that needs to be acknowledged. I feel like we have a petty bourgeois, a middle class commentariat who are ostensibly propagandising now for neoliberal iterations of the left again. The Green Party, the Tories with bikes, some of the most class prejudiced people you could ever wish not to meet. Corbyn and Sultana's project is embarrassing. And we are currently in a period where the ruling classes and the ruling establishment are essentially driving us towards a position where they're going to reduce living standards to the extent where young men will see joining the military as a viable option to escape their circumstances, which isn't a good situation at all. I feel like the push towards conflict with as yet not entirely known opponents, although Russia seems to be the one in China, there is a drive by the neocon kind of neoliberal imperialists to conflict. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think that when we have middle class, graduate class, publicly massively endorsing and supporting these utterly defunct oppositional political projects as if they are legitimate projects of essentially class war is intellectually dishonest and embarrassing. And what's this? Who you don't have to justify everyone you interact with. I don't know what you're talking. You talking to me? You talking to me? Viciously articulate man. I like him for his character a lot. Differences of opinion, so what? That's the spice of life. Yes. Yeah. All right. You're talking about George Gall. Yeah. No. I agree. Yeah. But I think on Gaza, you know what? Gaza is the shame of our lives. Gaza is an indictment on all our entire social existence. Liberals and centrists are pathetic. They lack any political acumen whatsoever. They've clearly got enough money in the bank to sit there and pretend that things are okay and comfort themselves with their soothing little cultural soothers. You can see it's all falling apart. They just delude themselves. They probably pour themselves a few whiskies or a couple of glasses of wine every night and just, mutter about what's wrong, why everybody else is wrong. But there's a myopia. There's a myopia certainly, but there's a melancholy. Young people are disillusioned. They're not engaged. The cost of living is extreme. Landlordism is horrendous. If you look at even somewhere like Edinburgh, it's increasingly more expensive for people to live. Landlords have doubled their rents in the last 10 years. Disgusting. Why was they're driving up prices here? That's artificial. But the march to war seems to me to be a real and genuine thing. And having some bunch of well-meaning liberals, a cluster of well-meaning liberals occupying Parliament, having some representation in Parliament, is essentially just providing us with a sort of liberal conscience in a Parliament overwhelmingly stuffed with right-wingers and reactionary bastards. And none of these, this Zach Polanski stuff and Corbyn's thing is particularly appealing to the working class, or to large sections of the working class. I'm not even interested really, let's be honest about this. People like Aaron Bastani and that, what was he saying last night? I said something to him, or I said something about his... Same with the Norrie stuff. Folk don't like him, doesn't mean he's wrong in his points. Norrie was great. Norrie's video that we did was brilliant. We managed to get a lot of... Again, you know what I mean? People say that they're against the tram and that, and they won't propagate a video because I've produced it. You know, it's up to you, you know what I mean? But we're providing a public service there. You know? What was it he said? So just out of interest, so Sturgeon basically shrugged her shoulders over the COVID inquiry, did she? Right, Bastani goes... Corbyn saying he will approve yes and stand in Holyrood is actually a shrewd move, very opportunistic. It's a weak venue right now. This is just the nature of party politics, right? You're just going to say what's... This is exactly correct. It is opportunistic, because that's what you do. You just go, well, we need to kind of get some support from here, there, or whatever. What can we say that's going to seduce this type of voter or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Doesn't mean you can say whatever you want. You say whatever you want, whether you're elected or unelected. That's the whole point of contemporary politics. Just say whatever you want. Say anything. We'll send them all back. We'll round up everybody and send them back. We'll do this. We'll do that. We'll give you independence. We'll just say whatever the fuck they want, because it's just in the pursuit of getting electoral power. None of these political parties are based around genuine social movements. None of them are based around. But in some ways, you know, unfortunately, the right are obviously whipping up reactions in disenfranchised communities and whatnot. But there's no science to that. There's no political science to that. That's just textbook opportunistic politics on their part. And the fact that the left have no defence about that is an indictment on the left. And that's essentially what my article is about. We've had failed progressive left, neoliberal left politics. We've had over a decade of it. It is categorically a failure, beyond words. It's failed. The small groups of people that go out and protest to the genocide are an example of that. Very well-meaning, virtuous, middle class to a they, them, and utterly ineffectual in the greater scheme of things. And when it comes to actual issues of attacking structures of capital, or you know what appears on the marketplace, for example, that's complicit with this horror, they can't even damage it in any way whatsoever. I mean, some people would argue that tanning the windows of these establishments would be a far more effective type of protest. You know, the idea, you know, when we were growing up in the 80s and stuff. The idea that you would have a global brand or something, a representation that was so implicitly linked to such a violent type of human extermination that wasn't publicly, you know, defamed or whatever, you know, that wasn't, you didn't see. Why? You know, I would have expected to see every window spray painted. I would have expected to see every window tanned. You know, but we're living in a very controlled type of protest now, you know? And there's been a lot written on that as well. A lot of people have written about the nature of contemporary protest. It's almost like protest is in some ways almost like a simulation now, you know, it's almost like a participatory simulation. But political power, that's a different thing. Disenfranchised communities because the left has abandoned them, or more accurately, the progressives pushed out left thinking and handed people to the populist right. Facts. Beldam Lascar says, different characters in the same pantomime. I mean, this is why I have a very little tolerance for the rather nauseating idealists at like the Scottish National or whatnot. It's like, it's very patronising, it's incredibly condescending. It's like, listen you lot, right? Most of you are under 30 and you're advancing and authoring an idea that these politics have any actual tangible meaning to the reality of our circumstances. This is a lie. This isn't true. But then we have to remember that it's about demographics and about who actually votes, and there is quite a lot of knowledge in terms of, like, you know, who they're pitching to. So there's a lot to be said about actually taking part in the process of voting. I mean, people imagine that the forthcoming Scottish election and then the subsequent UK election will be historically low turnouts. But that's where socialist organisations and whatnot really ought to be thinking about. How do you engage with communities that are disenfranchised? It either happens at the ballot or it doesn't, you know? I'll be back in just a momento.
Every class society that's ever existed, the ruling elements do not rule nakedly. They always adorn their rule with myths or themes and symbols and the like to justify their privileged positions at the apex of the social pyramid. So the 1% spins its self-legitimating myths. As I said, no ruling class rules nakedly. All of them make up, they take strenuous efforts to justify their rule. I tell students when they say, oh, they don't care what we think, they ignore us and all that, I say, oh, no, that's the only thing they care about you. The only thing they care about you is what you're thinking. They don't care if you eat correctly. They don't care how your living conditions are. They don't care that they've built up an inhuman and irrational traffic system that's strangulating us and polluting our air. They don't care about anything. The only thing about you they care about is what you're thinking. In the morning they start, what's going to be the story today? How do we manipulate? How do we control? How do we contain? How do we influence? How do we act upon what it is that they have in their minds? Modern capitalist societies avoid telling the truth about themselves. Instead, we get those rag to riches mythologies, the Horatio Alger stories, myths about fair play, equal opportunity, self-reliance, freedom, liberty, all those kind of things that they feed us again and again. A system that's been so productive and so wonderful and the like. The two fundamental myths of modern corporate capitalism that I want to treat are the myth that capitalism creates a general prosperity and a well-being, material well-being. That's myth number one. Myth number two, that capitalism creates or bolsters democracy.
Okay. Michael Parenti. Still alive. He's about 90 odd, isn't he? Let me know if these tonals are too loud. So Erin Bastani said the Greens are polling second. In a hung parliament, they could be kingmakers. So he's talking shite. He's propagandising about the Greens here. Why would they get... What would they do to get PR? How are they going to field 200 top competitive candidates? How will they reform the civil services? What quangos would go? Questions the media should maybe start asking. This guy's just propagandising the Greens. They're just whipping up a pan. I thought this guy was a communist. You know? They're polling high. What does that mean for first past the post? That means nothing. Okay, how does that translate to a seat share? How many candidates are the Greens realistically going to get in this next parliament? If they really keep this sort of thing up, you know what I mean? What do we reckon? Well, could they get 12 seats? Could they get 15 seats? More? Do you think they could get more? I tell you what, that ain't going to make no difference if the war drums are banging. So they get to create this kind of like, you know, oh, we think we're the moral conscience of the parliament, right? Brilliant. That's going to change society. I'm sick and tired of these middle class, smug middle class, comfortable, so-called political experts just talking absolute shite, right? And the other thing is, it's to do with who they are funded by. Okay, all these people are all quasi mouthpieces for various government interests as well. Let's be honest about this. The anointed voices of the left, like Owen Jones and all these kind of people, people really ought to be thinking, like, you know, what have these people done? They've presided over a period where we found ourselves with more public racism than probably was occurring in the 70s, where there's an ongoing genocide, where we've got a kind of, you know, if it's Islamophobia, however you want to look at it, the othering and demonising of Muslims to an utterly outrageous extent, and a middle class progressive left that probably can't even go into a scheme unless they've got their auto locking on, you know? Now let's touch briefly on what happened at Hampden. Because somebody said something to me. Where was it? Where was it? Oh, this was an interesting one. I know it's kind of like just a bit silly, but they seem to be making Leslie Riddick, who again, you know, just part of the independence sort of, you know, weirdness of Scottish culture, but she had made this statement saying about how listening to Radio Scotland phone-in, tidal waves of repressed hope and joy unleashed. Have to write a column today, but sitting greeting, laughing and replaying video of McTominay searching for his mum after that goal. Helps to hear half of Scotland is also awash with emotion. Was this some kind of like statement about the division in Scotland, or was it just essentially a figure of speech about half the country was, you know? I thought I just read it like that. But these kind of reactionary types wanted to turn it into some idea that she was making some big divisive statement about the split between the Unionists and the Nationalists or whatever. But this is just pantomime politics as we move into this period. I think what I find quite tedious is that the same forces. What's happened here? The same forces. It's the same cultural forces, the same political class, the same media class that presided over the referendum in 2014. It's now 2025. We've had 10 years of essentially the same arguments, the same columns being written, the same people saying the same things. Everything, you know, the same salaried, you know, opinionators and whatnot. And they've said nothing. They've said or done nothing at all. And in that time period, we have had, I go on about it all the time, but we have had no investigation through this process culturally. We've had no expression of it. And we're now moving into an election in I think like 6 months' time, less than 6 months' time maybe, where it's just going to be the meet the old boss, meet the new boss, same as the old boss type thing. And it's just this kind of brain damage, this Groundhog Day brain damage. And it's just very insulting, It's a very insulting and parochial, weird wee country that we live in. I think the Herald had some political awards the other day there, None of these people have done anything or contribute anything particularly to Scottish culture or society. They basically should all have their jobs, There's no vision. There's absolutely no vision. It's quite astounding, really, What was the thing that I saw? It was like Long Bangers is I think it's a Hibs football podcast, is it? And I'll find it here now. Here we are, right? The people have spoken. They retweeted it, so maybe. So here's something that I find. I mean, Stephen Flynn is an irksome fellow, to say the least. The quintessential narcissistic member of the contemporary political class. A guy with no politics. A very comfortable position because we live in a country where large sections of the culture will just go out and vote for his party just because it's the SNP. It doesn't matter that they've not got any politics. Doesn't matter that they're just a sort of business. Doesn't matter that that they haven't managed to that they'll never achieve independence. But Flynn, like a few of the others, has crafted this kind of identity where football, when something happens with the football, they become like like the football man, Dr. Football is what. And I noticed he was given a whole bunch of patter about, he'd hurt his foot when he was celebrating, and they're all painting their faces and they'll get the kilts on and stuff. And again, it's the sort of symbolism of just like frantically rushing to the thing, the national identity being woven into the whole football thing. As much as the achievement was phenomenal, and the goals were outstanding. It was a landmark, great, amazing moment for Scottish football after all these years of not being in the World Cup. When you see these pricks jump on it and try to, appropriate it for their own self-interest and their own craven political aspirations, there's a part of you is going like, you almost wonder, fuck, I'm not going to say I didn't want them to do it, but there is a part of you going, is this what we've got to get? Is this what we have? I'm late to the party. Are you anti-Witherspoons and anti-independent bookshop? Never change, Bob. I'm not anti-Witherspoons. Why am I anti-Witherspoons? I mean, people moan about the Witherspoons guy is a bit of a raj, right? But Witherspoons my old man goes to Witherspoons because you get it's cheap. It's a cheap pint and you get your bread. Like, people love Witherspoons, I didn't have a problem. I didn't really have a problem with Witherspoons. I mean, like, fuck, What am I supposed to not like Witherspoons? But I didn't like him. In fact, to tell you what, right there, like, Ken what, right? I went to Leith Arches. And it was brilliant because the Gyro Babies were playing, and it was a great gig. And Mark had travelled. The lead singer, the main man of the Gyros, had travelled over hill and dale, and he'd been on ferries and taxis and trams. He even boarded a tram to get down to Leith Arches. But it was a brilliant night, and I missed I missed Victor Pope, but I saw China Bull Shop, which they were great, and obviously the Gyros. I'll play a wee clip of the Gyros just now, which was.
everything. Nobody's ever really cool with anything. Is everybody here really cool with everything? Nobody's ever really cool with anything. Well, since everybody here is cool with everything. Nobody's ever really cool with anything. Since everybody here is cool with everything. Nobody's ever really cool with anything. I think everybody here is cool with everything. Nobody's ever really cool with anything. So always everybody here is cool with everything. Nobody's ever really cool with anything. His name.
There was a moment when I was under in the darkness. Fading. I could feel. And I knew. So clear. I could feel it. I could feel it. It was like I was part of everything that I ever loved. And we were all just fading out. And all I had to do was let go. And I did. I was in darkness. Yeah. And I disappeared.
Right, aye, Gyros was brilliant. Anyway, I can't be bothered with all these politicians acting like it was them that put the ball in the back of the net. All these fuckers do is score goals against us. But what was it Long Bangers had said? Did they say something about this? I didn't ken about the Long Bangers. Another quality pod. Hibs Live, Scotland's best ever. Who goes to the World Cup? Check out the great phone-in. I need to check this out. It's remiss of me
always, and I think everybody's on a bit of a, I don't know if a come down is the right word for it, but after a superb night at Hampden last night, not quite the best night
Joe Capaldi
we've seen at Hampden, but
right,
it's up there.
I'll check it out.
Game.
I'll check it out.
I
Long
think
Bangers.
we've got but something.
Have you missed What the X? Come on, eh? Yeah, this was Leamington Books. Back to the... let's have a look. You're right, BPB. It's had some good coverage, but this is grassroots work from readers and writers and not paid PR. That's not true though, is it? It's Baron von Cornypops with us. He says that they are paying their PR. And quite frankly, with the amount of coverage that they've had, or is he being sarcastic? No, he's not. I take it. Here's what we've done so far. Meeting with local MSP, upcoming. Meeting with local councillor, upcoming. Edinburgh Council Planning Office, contacted. Sheet Anchor, Evolve, contacted for comment. Open letter in the first round of... Oh, come on. I tell you what, on the morning that Waterstones opens, I'm going in there to buy a book. I'm going down to Waterstones to buy the first book that Waterstones sell in the Cutgate. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy their I'm going to be their first purchaser. Let's have a look here. Well, that's you, Nuance collaboration. Oh wait, Tide Inside have got a new single. Is this it here? There you go.
No.
I'll cut the ribbon. I will cut the ribbon. Here's Tony giving it. Go on, Tony.
Close the door. Let me rub your back where you say it's sore.
Go on.
Come on.
Right, who's the tide inside likes your story? Where was the Argonaut people? Is this the guy? No.
With Argonauts, we just need, and we want to show support because the Waterstone, they want to open like 65 meters away, just over there. I don't think that's fine. We have a really good community.
We've got a huge issue with inequality in this country. It's one of the most unequal, rich countries in the world, right? So just putting tax on that is not a bad first step, but it's only.
She didn't have time to brush her hair this morning. She had better things to do, you know what I mean? Do that.
What's
got a huge issue
with
with
the story? They arrested a mannequin. No bother. Right, okay, so BPB to cut the ribbon when it opens. Absolutely. That's definitely going to happen, like, you know. Right, okay, we're nearing to the end. It's been a bit of a slow meander, you know, but I had to get back into the driving seat. What else was I going to check there? There was something else. Nah, I'll not bother with that. I didn't want to do that. Okay, people, unless there's something else that you want me to particularly have a wee think about, I think we're drawing to the end. He's the boy from Crema next door, sells cake for a £5, could buy half his stories with that. You can't say that we've not got the local connections in the gaff. What was Matty saying? No, I can't. It's not working. Right, people. Well, once again, it's been my pleasure. We might do another couple of mornings, we'll see. But did I check everything? Okay, things to look forward to. Gutter Blood. We have a show coming up at Barrowman's with Degrassi. This is on Thursday. I think it's Thursday. It's Thursday the 27th of November. And that's at Bannerman's, and then we're in Glasgow, I think on the 3rd or the 4th. I need to check. It's Wednesday the 3rd. So we're in Bannerman's on the 27th, and then on the Wednesday we're in Glasgow at Block in Glasgow. So that's worth checking out, which is the launch party for Good Dogs Will Never Die, The Great Escape. I'm just looking at my notifications here, of which I have many notifications. This track was actually going to be Dr. Football. I know I always moan about my whole BBC debacle, but this was actually going to be the soundtrack, this tune, Decades. I had a nice wee voiceover, worked out for it. Anyway, let me think about what I'll end with. I'll tell you what I'm going to end with. I'm going to leave you with a great track by two great ladies. I'm sure there's the reason I'm equivocating here, there's something I forgot. I've forgotten something, but I can't mind what it was. That's always the way. Right, once again, thanks so much for everybody that's joined me this morning. Thanks to everyone who's donated and who supports Discontent and what the we will have merch very soon. Very soon we will have some merch for you. So some Christmas merch, so you can get some stocking fillers, t-shirts. So we'll get that organised for you. But once again, thanks for everybody that's joined this morning. I've tried to cover things as best I can. I'll be back, and I'm going to leave you with Dr. Normal and Empress, which is produced by More Famous, and it's Witch for a Night. So take care, everybody, and I'll catch you all soon. Ciao.
I'm gonna be a party poppin', show stoppin', wig floppin', witch for a night. My rent is overdue, my gas and light bill too. They came to disconnect my phone, crazy interest on my loan. If my credit's not at the cools, I'll try another fill. But when I get my check, gonna give no heck. Gonna be a party poppin', show stoppin', wig floppin', watch for the night. You got to pick up every stitch. Beatniks are out to make it right. Must be the season of the
in the gaff as we're bopping. Stick his head down but he's not apple bobbing. Potent potion manifesting and magical. Flowing incantations, he's getting fanatical. Taking my way, cast spells that are radical. It doesn't add up but I don't get mathematical. I feel a Jones in my skeleton bones. Big man gives a moaning esoterical tones. Sexy spectre, relieve your phone. And if you can't do that, just leave me alone. Stitching, coming without the glitch. Hitting on your miss with a powerful pitch. With a flick of a wrist and the click of a switch. I'm gonna be a party poppin', show stoppin', wig floppin', witch for a night. Go, now stop. I'm a junk.